everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the Gen X problem with a drinking show. I am Laura Lavoie, and I am here, of course, with Bill Bergens, who has opinions.
Yeah, you're going to see that this show is going to be a real big deal.
Oh, God. All right, then. So, welcome, viewer, and we welcome all new viewers.
Oh, yeah, hopefully we picked up some new viewers because we did spend the last week, well, not this past week, but the week before that, we spent some time peppering Atlanta, Georgia with some of our new decals, which Laura has here for you to see. And if any of our viewers who watch us on the regular don't have one of these decals and would like one, just reach out and we'll get them to you.
We can definitely.
I'll get you a handful if you'll put them around your town. Stick them on utility boxes and whatnot.
Like you do. Newspaper boxes, they come in handy. So whatever you got,
sure.
Stick them on things. So
yeah.
and some of our viewers may not be watching live. They may watch, later.
Sure.
On their own time.
That's true.
Like people who
ideally.
What?
I'd like to think people are watching this from 2025. Well, wow, man, I can't believe I missed all that.
Hello and welcome, viewers of the future. We hope you enjoy our show.
Right.
But our show, as you alluded to a moment ago, this show, well, first, all right, before we get into the topic, right, let's just start with the niceties. How are you? What's been going on? We didn't have a show last Monday.
Yeah, we skipped last Monday because it was,
I knocked your fork on the floor.
She dropped my fork on the floor.
Just terrible.
It's okay. 5-second rule.
These are recently cleaned floors, so.
Yeah, well, either way. But, actually, the 5-second rule is a real thing. I saw it, it was a scientific study, and it actually takes a certain amount of time for germs to get on
things.
Didn't,
Mythbusters do that?
I don't know. I read an article or something on the internet, because that's what I mostly do when I'm supposed to be working.
That's what you do for a living.
That's what I do for a living is read the internet. But anyway, no, how am I? I'm good. So last week we were off because it was Labor Day, but we were leaving Dragon Con on Labor Day, which that was a good time, and everybody got out unscathed, amazingly, probably because they had a policy wherein everyone needed to be vaccinated or had to have a negative test in order to get in, and most people who weren't vaccinated just took their ball and went home, and ergo it worked out just splendidly. I think there were a few positive cases I've heard.
That I've seen, yeah. A few people have reported that they've had positive cases. And, of course, who knows when they got exposed. It could have been at Dragon Con. It could have been before, probably not.
Could have been something off campus, honestly.
Right, or any restaurant.
We didn't do a lot of eating out at Dragon Con because, we usually do, but this time we were kind of more like it was the best thing for making me eat the crap I brought in my cooler. I bring shit every year. I bring $300 worth of food in the cooler, and every year I go out and spend $300 eating out. So it was great for that. Anyway, so that was great. We had a good time at Dragon Con. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And then since then, what has happened this week has been fairly pleasant. The weather's been nice, and I'm trying to think, did anything eventful happen? Not really. I was telling Laura we got air conditioner installed in our house, which we didn't have an air conditioning. We live in a rainforest, and it's mostly only like 70 degrees most of the time anyway, but it gets crazy humid. So we just got a split put in right before Dragon Con, and that's been nice. Except then the weather, it got cool.
Right.
So it's kind of, I don't know. The split will also run heat, so it's fine. When it gets warm out, or cold or whatever.
You want the heat on when it's cold.
Yeah.
Generally.
Anyway, it's pleasant right now. Nothing else eventful really going on in my life. I don't know.
No, it's been a very quiet week. Thankfully, we all came back to negative COVID tests, and we're just getting back into. And I love this time of year, as we know from last year and all of that. But this is fall. We're about to be full fall, and then it's it's football season, it's Halloween season, it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. I just freaking love these months.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. As you can see, I've got on a long sleeve shirt today.
Yeah, I do see that.
Actually, so unfortunately, I work in South Carolina, where it is a different season than it is at my house. seriously, honest to God, like I can leave my house in the morning and I drive to work, and it's a different season there. It's that different between, but it's not because it's that different between North Carolina and South Carolina, but it is that different between the mountains and the flatland.
Yes.
And that's the difference. Is I actually live in the mountains and I work in the flatlands. And when I get there, oh my God, like it's so hot. Like I got to work and I dressed for fall because I felt pleasant when I left the house this morning. And then I got to work and I was like, oh my God, like, why did I wear this? But I was tired of putting on short sleeve shirts. I kind of was like, oh hey, it's nice out this morning because it was 50 degrees when I left the house.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna put on long sleeves and dress nicely and all that crap. And anyway, but that's the only thing bad going on in my life. So
I mean, that's not much to complain
about. That's all you got
about.
to complain about. You don't have a lot to complain about, right?
That's fair. But tell me, what are you drinking?
Oh, well, right now I'm drinking Rewind Lager from Birdsong Brewing out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, Birdsong, I like them.
Yeah, and this is, I was surprised. I actually went to the brewery a couple weeks ago, and I got a flight, and they had this, and they also had a key lime Kolsch, which I thought I was gonna like. I thought the key lime Kolsch because I love lime.
Sounds up your alley.
It sounds up my alley, but let me tell you something. I thought that was gonna be the one I got a pint of after I finished my flight. I did not end up loving it, but I love this Rewind Lager, which is a very balanced lager. It's got like you can taste the grain on the back end.
Oh, nice.
Which that's a thing I like about a good lager.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it comes in these sort of tall cans. What is this? It's like slightly more than
It's 16, I think.
16. Okay. Yeah.
So a real pint, like an actual
imperial pint.
Yeah. Go get one at the bar.
That's a thing. Previous to that. Right before the show, I finished off one of these Three Floyds Gumball Head the Cat, which is an American wheat pale ale from Three Floyds Brewery, which is somewhere in the Midwest.
Indiana, I think.
I wanted to say.
Where is it?
Yeah, Munster, Indiana.
Yeah, I thought it was in Indiana.
Munster, Indiana. I don't know where that is.
You know where that is?
Yeah, and the reason, so my friend Jay brought me these before DragonCon, and the reason he brought them to me is because I've been wanting them forever. I actually went to art school with Rob Sayers, who is the guy who draws Gumball Head the Cat, which is a indie comic, and he's also on the cover of a Mount Shasta album.
Nice.
Because Skingraft is a comic company, but also a record company, and all the Chicago noise rock was put out by Skingraft. Anyway, so because I had been wanting to try it forever and can't get it because they just didn't import it down here, Jay, who lives in Detroit, came down and brought some. I guess they just started bringing it to Detroit. And he knew I wanted it, so
yeah,
he brought me a 6 of it.
Did you save a can? Just hold on to it?
I have 1 can. No, I have 2 cans left at the house, but I'm probably going to drink them. I'm not going to save. I'm not that person.
Empty can? You're not going to save the empty can?
Yeah,
that's fair. I wouldn't.
That's just clutter. I don't mean that grief.
No, I hear you. So, because it is False Fall, I am drinking exclusively tonight Clawhammer Oktoberfest because it's September, which is Oktoberfest season. Counterintuitively, but yes, Oktoberfest actually occurs in Germany in September to celebrate the wedding of King Ludwig. Something.
Yeah,
way back.
It's because somebody meddled with the calendar years ago.
But so Clawhammer Oktoberfest from show it there is from Highland, which is a local brewery here in Asheville. Actually, our oldest brewery, and this is a freaking delicious beer.
It's one of the 2 beers that Highland makes that's worth a shit.
I do happen to like a lot of their beers, but this is one of my favorites. And
it's one of the 2 best. You can agree with that, right?
It's one of the 2 best for sure.
Okay.
And I look forward to it every year. So I'm drinking that exclusively. I have another one on deck. So
I have one of those way pre-show. Yeah, like I was pre-gaming. So now I'm getting a little bit of a buzz, which is where we need to be.
It's where we need to be to talk about our actual topic, which tonight is pickles.
Yeah.
Right?
Pickles.
So we argued about whether or not, well before the show, like a couple weeks ago, is pickles enough of a subject to have an hour-long show about?
And I said, I think we make an hour out of damn air anything if we get drunk first.
That's fair. That is completely fair. So I know you have some thoughts about pickles. So let's start out with the classic monologue, shall we?
Yeah. Well, so normally I tell my history with whatever it is, and I don't recall my history of pickles because goddamn, who knows?
Who doesn't know what a pickle is? Like
I don't
right?
remember. I mean, I'm sure the first pickle I encountered was on a McDonald's hamburger, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you were a kid, you used to get the hamburger, and instead of eating the whole thing, you would peel it apart, and you just eat the patty like some kind of moron. And you do this until you're about 5 years old, and then sometimes you realize you're still hungry.
Yeah.
And so you start eating the entire damn burger, and then there's this realization of the gestalt, right? That it's greater than the sum of its parts. That tasting all these things at once is somehow fucking brilliant. And that's probably when pickles really dawned on me. Was at that point. I don't know. I'm guessing because I don't recall my life pre-pickle.
No,
you know.
Fair. I don't know either.
Yeah.
I know. I remember specifically that any holiday we had, if there whatever it was, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, if we hosted a holiday for lunch or just pre-dinner, we would have a little tray out that would have a variety of pickles and olives. And there were always sweet gherkins on that pickle tray. And that's what I would eat when I was a kid. And that is still by far my favorite pickle.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. So growing up, I only ever ate dill pickles. I remember this. I only ate dill pickles. I hated all other kinds of pickles. I hated sweet pickles with a passion. And it wasn't until I was probably about 17 or 18. I remember I was at a barbecue joint in South Carolina, like in my hometown. And on the buffet, a lot of times at a barbecue joint, if they're one of those buffet barbecue joints, they usually have like a thing of sweet pickles. Sweet pickles are the fucking jam with some barbecue. Like you put those on your plate with some pulled pork. And when I say barbecue, I mean pulled pork.
Yes.
For the people who are
South Carolina
elsewhere.
barbecue.
Yes.
South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia barbecue.
Fucking pulled pork. I don't mean we grilled out. That's
you don't even mean because in other states, right? Other things are, you get brisket.
Yeah, no, it's pulled pork. I mean pulled pork.
Yes.
You get your plate full of pulled pork, and you got like a plate full of rice that's doctored up however the fuck it is, depending on where you're at. And then they'd have some sweet pickles, or actually they're bread and butter, I want to say, which is I think is a subset of sweet, right?
Are they? Because I never liked bread and butter pickles.
Well, let me tell you, they're fucking great with barbecue.
I do agree with that. I will put a pickle on my barbecue. You know what I learned? This is unrelated.
Okay.
Well, somewhat related. It's related to that.
It's okay.
But one thing after we moved to North Carolina specifically, I learned the value of a pulled pork sandwich, right? So you've got the pulled pork, you got the bun, pulled pork, just a glob of it, and then freaking coleslaw on that shit,
absolutely.
And then a couple of pickles, top bun. Oh, that's
I know. I remember the first time I made my son a sandwich, and I put slaw on his sandwich, and he's like, "What?" Because he thought he didn't like coleslaw. No. If you think you don't like coleslaw, you haven't put it as a condiment on a thing yet.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in North Carolina, that's the way we serve hot dogs and hamburgers too. Fucking, chili, slaw, onions, mustard.
Yeah.
It's a whole fucking thing. It's called Carolina style.
Yeah.
And that makes it good. Anyway.
And for me, it's got to be like the really creamy, like sweet slaw.
The sweet slaw, exactly.
Not like a vinegar slaw, which is good in its own thing.
It's okay, but it's not. Yeah. You want the creamy, like it's got the condensed milk and it's like real sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this show is not about
slaw. But it's mildly related, but not.
All right. So pickle monologue, and you sent me some notes, like
I did,
because we were wondering.
Okay.
So what is a pickle?
Yeah, we did talk about that. So pickle is.
You need your notes.
I need my notes.
All right, here's notes.
A little tipsy now. Okay. What did I say? It's any food made by soaking things in a brine or vinegar for the purpose of preservation. Honestly, this was like an old school thing. People would do this because vegetables would only keep, so long. So as a way to preserve things, it's kind of like curing meat. You would pickle mostly vegetables, but then at some point in our past, we learned that we could pickle other things. Now we pickle eggs and we pickle sausages and whatnot. But anyway, so pickling things in a brine or a vinegar, cucumbers, Watermelon rind is a thing very popular in the South. Okra, olives, eggs, pig's feet, sausages, what have you.
We've got a variety to taste later in the show.
We will talk about all these. Although we didn't have any pickled meats here.
No.
Nor pickled eggs.
No, I actually specifically requested when my wonderful partner Matt went to the store to buy me any kind of pickle but eggs.
Don't buy pickled eggs.
I did not want a pickled egg.
I'll tell you a story. Funny thing. Years ago, when I was between wives, I was dating, and I was on a date with this girl.
You make it sound like you're Henry VIII. Between wife number 4 and wife number 5.
Right. I was dating, and I went on this date with this girl to this. We went to a pool hall, and there was a big jar of pickled eggs on the counter.
Yeah.
And I told her I'd give her $10 if she ate one, and she totally did.
I wouldn't do it for 10, but I would do it for some other amount of money.
The higher amount?
Yeah, higher amount.
Okay.
Well, yeah, not like less. No.
No, but you know.
Yeah, no, I don't know what my price would be, but if you kept going up, I'd probably eat it.
Well, anyway, you know, I said I'd give her some money to eat a pickled egg, and she did, and I was impressed, although not impressed that, you know, I didn't want to eat one, so I don't know.
That's right.
But, you know, just
I don't want to eat one, but I would if you gave me money for it.
I mean, and I would if, like, you know, it was the end of the world, I guess, and I was starving and there were pickled eggs.
Sure, a survival situation. So, Heather, to answer your first question, our intro, no, we do not have pickle beer. We should have had picklebacks. We should have got like pickleback shots, you know?
Oh, okay.
But I did not want that.
What is that?
So you drink, I don't know if it's whiskey or what it is, but I think it's a shot of whiskey with a shot of pickle juice. So you do one and then you do the shot of pickle juice.
That doesn't sound complimentary at all. I could see pickle juice go with vodka or something, maybe.
It might be vodka. I don't know what it is. Yeah. If anybody knows what a pickleback is, I don't know if it's anything, like a shot of anything and then pickle juice is a pickleback, or if it's a very specific type of.
How about a pickle maker where you drop the shot of pickle juice in your.
Oh, like yeah, absolutely, sure.
I don't know if that's a thing, but it should be a thing.
I drink my share of the formerly referred to Irish car bombs. They have another name now because we don't want to promote violence.
Car bombing?
Yeah, but I can't remember the name. But yeah, So Jay says he's only done it with a shot of Jameson's.
So that's
a
whiskey.
Pickleback. Yeah, so that's whiskey. Yeah. I also think I've heard it with bourbons. So
it sounds disgusting. That really sounds revolting.
Well, I mean,
those two flavors don't sound good at all.
I could get both of those things for us to try because we have both. Well, actually, no, I take that back. The bourbon is not currently readily available. It's packed still. So
your bourbon is packed.
I can get you rum and pickle juice.
That sounds awful. Also, that sounds terrible. Unless
sounds terrible.
Sweet pickles.
Oh, maybe. But we don't have any sweet, like regular sweet pickles. So
you know, smart moms know how kids' minds grow upon sweet pickles. You know, kids, if you ask your parents, they could get you a sweet pickles bus. It would come and it'll have several books of sweet pickles, and then each additional month you'll receive another book.
It's true.
If you continue your subscription.
That is true.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Did you have those sweet pickles?
I did not have the sweet pickles books, and I'm surprised I didn't. Or at least the first one, because my father, he would always get the free thing of anything. Like we had the first volume of like Time Life books.
And the zoo books.
The zoo books. Any of the mysteries of the unknown. Like we had, but just the first volume because you get the free one, and then
gotcha. I don't know if the free book. I don't know that Sweet Pickles was free.
It may not.
I think it was like there was an introductory offer, and you got a plastic lunchbox that looked like a bus, and it had 5 or 6 books in it, and then each additional book was like $20 a month, or it probably wasn't that much because this was in the 80s. God, it was probably like $5 a month or something, wasn't it? I don't know.
Something.
Who knows? Inflation.
I didn't get that because apparently it wasn't free.
No, I didn't get it either. I did read all the Sweet Pickles books in the library, and they were all just about like animals that had neuroses of different kinds, right?
It's true. No wonder. Yeah.
They were like what was it? Because it was like I don't know, like anxious antelope and
no wonder. So although I think those were doing us a service, right? Like pre-Gen X, we didn't talk about like anxiety or you know, all those issues, and then you know, from Gen X through millennials and on, like now that's a dialogue we have.
Yeah.
So Sweet
So
Pickles
it was like a precursor.
Yeah, like we might have actually been the.
I need to go back and revisit the Sweet Pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So let's take a quick break here.
Sure.
Before we get into our pickle tasting.
Okay.
So I figure the right one to do here because you know it's a food order.
Oh yeah, I got you.
As
I can totally. Oh, so I'll tell you a crazy thing. At the Purple Onion, one of the things they do, almost every dish, not every dish, but almost you can definitely ask. They pickle purple onions.
Yes.
As a garnish.
Yes.
And like definitely on all their like charcuterie boards and stuff, you'll get that right as a thing. But they're delicious on a lot of things. On a sandwich, on
a taco.
Oh my God. So purple onion likes to pickle purple onions, which they're 10 times better than just plain purple onions. And when we say purple onions, we mean what normal people call red onions.
But it's branding.
Let's be honest, they're purple. I don't know why they call them red onions because they're fucking purple.
That's
right?
fair. That's fair.
Anyway.
And, well, no, and I love making because one of the things I like to do, we don't have any here, make quick pickles. So you just make a quick pickle of a purple onion, right?
Yeah.
So you just chop up the onion. You do a real quick, like, you know, sugar, salt, maybe some spices, and you know, and you just quick pickle the hell out of that. And I'll eat the shit out of
They're
that.
usually just overnight. Like they soak them in vinegar overnight or something.
Sure.
But it gives them a slightly different taste than a raw purple onion or red onion, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I say purple because they're purple.
They are legit purple.
It's like when you call redheads, unless they're fucking orange heads. Let's be honest. Like, ain't nobody got red hair. People got orange hair.
Although I did just use red hair dye.
Sure, but that's like unnatural. Yeah, it's like that's like you can get blue hair dye.
Well,
but nobody has blue hair.
That's why I did the red hair dye because I did blue hair dye for DragonCon.
Yeah.
And then my hair was green for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, you trying to get the?
Yeah, I just wanted the green out, so
Yeah,
I just got some red dye to like make it not green anymore. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this show.
Yeah.
All right, so what we do have here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got so one of the things we wanted to talk about, right? Like, I guess we should start out with just regular fucking cucumbers.
Regular ass cucumber pickles and their varieties. That was a bullet point.
So, you know, the ones we've mentioned already, right? Gherkin, bread and butter, dill. And I've got sweet hot. Oh, sweet, but I've got sweet hot here.
Sweet hot is good. And then I got some, and they say classic dill, but these are actually more of and I gotta go into this little thing for a minute. So
I'm ready for it.
I grew up, okay.
Which one do I start with? Do I start with this?
Sure.
All right, I'll start with this while you talk about it.
Yeah. So, sorry, I grew up on dill pickles and mostly like Mount Olive, I would say. Then later on, I graduated Vlasic or what's the other big brand? Clausen or something like that?
Clausen. Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't know. Anyway, those are the three major brands, I guess, that are in the grocery store. They're okay, but the older I get, the more they just taste like salt to me. Like all I taste is salt. I don't taste any dill and I don't taste any vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to where I've started gravitating more towards like what I call farmers market style pickles, which are a little bit crisper. They're not as canned tasting. They don't have that soggy feel that the major brands have. They're a little crisper, and they also pack a little more of a wallop in the dill and the flavor category.
Yeah, that definitely did.
This one actually has, in addition to having like you actually see the dill weed in the jar.
Oh, there was and
also sliced garlic, which you probably are
I tasted that. I tasted a lot of that.
Yes.
And I will say I don't actually love dill pickles. Like I like dill and I like pickles. I don't usually like them together, but those are some fantastic pickles right there.
These so this is Grillo's brand, which I got at Target, but I think they're available a lot of places. They used to carry them I used to work for an organic grocer a couple years ago, not at the grocery store. I was in the corporate office, but it was something that the company I worked for carried, and that's where I heard about them, and was told these are really good pickles. And so the other day, I was looking for some nice pickles, and I knew I didn't have time to go to like the farmer's market and buy some mom and pop brand of of pickles, which would also have been good, but Grillo's classic dill, it said, but they've also got, like I said, a lot of garlic in them.
Oh, they got a lot. Yeah, these might as well be pickled garlic. Like they're good. So I think since we're on, and we don't have any gherkins, we don't have any bread and butter, but I think since we're on the regular ass cucumbers,
yeah,
so I think we ought to try these. So these are sweet hot pickles. I can't remember the actual brand. We've tried a million of them because they're our favorite.
Okay.
So give that a try.
Okay.
There was a brand. It was like some sort of Amish pickle brand, which was like that. Like you would find it at a farmer's market or whatever. There's actually a place in North Georgia called Goats on the Roof.
Yeah.
And they would sell these pickles that were sweet hot, and they were just like, I think most of the spice was habanero. These are not those. These are something
these
else.
aren't that hot, but they're just hot enough not to be totally sweet. But they are freaking delicious. Oh man. I mean, you know those I don't know if these count as pickles or not. I'm gonna segue from them.
Oh no.
But these remind me. They remind me taste wise a little bit. Do you remember spiced apple rings that came in a jar? They kind of remind me of that a little bit. They got kind of a similar flavor. And I don't know if you would count those as pickles because they're probably not. But my mom used to buy me those when I was a kid. I used to love this shit. You know, it's so funny. I remember sometimes my mom would be eating beets, like pickled beets.
Oh, yeah.
And I would think she had, because they're the same color as the spiced apple rings.
Oh.
And I would be like, what do you got there? And then she'd be like, I'm eating beets. I was like, oh, nah. Although, you know, I didn't know shit from China when I was a kid. Like, now I love beets. I don't know about pickled beets. I don't know about pickled beets. I like fresh beets. Like, you cut up some fucking beets, I'll eat the hell out of them. They're delicious. But I'd probably like pickled beets, too. I mean, what would be not to like? To be sweet
I don't like beets.
Salt.
So I honestly, I have to be honest. Like Matt, who's sitting right over there, he eats pickled beets a lot. He likes beets. He's Greek. Like, it's required.
You have to like them.
And
good source of iron, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. And I don't like beets, and I've only had a handful of beets that I like in like, we've gone to fancy restaurants where, like, there was a fancy restaurant in New Orleans where they made this, like, roasted beet with, it was golden beets layered with goat's cheese. And oh my God, it was the most amazing thing I've ever had. But if I just eat a beet, I'm like, why does this taste like earth? Like, it just doesn't.
They have an earthy taste. It's got, they're like a really sweet potato is what they, you know. So what we do at the house. I'm going off on a tangent. I think. I won't even.
Do you want me to play the thing?
Do the thing.
All right, we got to do the thing. That's why we have the things.
That's why we have the thing.
That's why we have these things.
Right. Do it.
Longest 7 seconds in the world.
It totally is.
All right.
It's like no, I was just gonna say I love. So when we at the house when we make like pork roast, we usually also we cut up potatoes, we cut up sweet potatoes, we cut up carrots, parsnips, beets. We put all that shit together.
Absolutely.
All the root vegetables. They're all delicious, but I love beets too. Red beets. I don't like golden beets. Those can fuck off.
So the golden beets with this goat's cheese thing that we had in New Orleans was amazing.
I've had them with goat's cheese. They can still fuck off.
I think you got to go to this place in New Orleans.
No, I don't know. Okay, I'll
tell
try
you,
it.
it'll change your life. If the
It'll
place is
change my
even
life
still
because
there.
I'll get bit by a vampire and I'll have to live forever.
That's right. That's true.
That's what happens in New Orleans.
That's true.
According to the movies.
Well, according to Anne Rice.
Yes.
Who wrote books before movies.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway. All right. So now we've got
the vampires wouldn't like those pickles because they're full of
garlic. No, freaking garlic right there. They're delicious, but garlicky as hell. All right. So now we moved on to other. I might eat that last garlic.
Sure,
pickle.
do it.
All right. While we do that, I'm going to take this pickle and I'm going to eat it. But so I think regular ass cucumbers. That's what everybody.
That's what people think about. Yeah.
Right.
But we were like, no, it can be all the things that are pickled.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, and my second favorite pickled vegetable after cucumbers. I don't know. Maybe cucumbers aren't even my favorite pickled vegetable. They're good. I like them. They're good on a burger and whatever. And sort of as an aside, I guess relish.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pickles. It's pickled cucumbers, but it's diced up and something. I don't know. It's just the texture's different, right? Like mostly.
I don't mix anything with mine, so I only make it anymore. I don't buy relish. So I'll just use like pickles, like the sweet hot pickles.
Just cut them up, and then,
I'll just dice the hell out of them. And
so
then,
if you're making, so here's the thing. So you can make, if you have relish, well, if you have pickles, I guess you can make relish out of pickles, and then you can make tartar sauce out of relish and mayonnaise, or you can make,
Thousand Island dressing.
yeah, that's special
Mayo,
sauce.
mayo, ketchup, and relish. I actually, so when I make the relish, it's usually to make like our own tartar sauce because we didn't buy tartar sauce.
Yeah,
so
I do too. Like, if I'm making a tuna fish sandwich, I usually put, I like relish in my tuna fish sandwich. That's a thing I do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, so
all right, so
sorry,
now
we're moving on from cucumbers now.
Yeah.
So peppers. I like peppers, pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of them, and they're delicious. So these are banana peppers.
Those are sweet hot
banana peppers.
So we were fixing our little pickle plate here, a little pickle thing, and I put like 2 in there, and Bill's like, "Nah, you're gonna need to give me more of those."
Yeah,
because I don't like them.
Oh my god!
Well, I'm gonna eat one.
These are
right
so
now
good.
On air.
Try it and see if you don't change your mind.
No, that's too big. I mean, these are in my house all the time. Matt loves them.
Yeah. Oh man. So if I get a sub sandwich, like
all right.
Yeah, you see.
Okay.
So I get a sub sandwich. Yeah, like cover that thing in banana peppers normally, and I'm not talking about sweet hots, but these are good too. Normally I'm just talking about the ones that are just pickly tasting.
Right. These are sweet. Ooh, they get like a nice little spice on the back there.
Yeah.
Those are better than I thought they'd be.
Yeah. Maybe you want to go back and get yourself pepper and singing now.
Yeah.
So this is another thing. You know, you
are
guys.
They sweet hot or are they just regular?
They're just mild, they're like a mild spicy pickled pepper. I don't know how to explain it. When you order Papa John's, if you do, I don't anymore. Fuck that guy.
Right.
But
yes. No.
They always give you a few of these on the corner of the box with your pizza.
Yes.
And people usually fight over them. I always have a jar of them in the refrigerator anyway because they're delicious. And I'll eat like 10 or 15 of these in a row until I get a stomach ache from them because they're that good. But they're good on I've always put them on Greek salads too. And then
right,
you know, if somebody's like, I don't want those, and they pop them off their plate, I'm like, I'll take it. Thank you.
Those sweet hot peppers are actually genuinely good, and they're always in my house. They have been for like 20 years. But I've never had them before because I didn't think I liked them. I do, but boy, they pack a punch. Like,
okay, well, maybe you should have the pepperoncini then. Never mind. It'll be hotter than that to you.
Mm.
So they're not like, I don't consider them hot because they're not like jalapeno hot, but because to me they're mostly sour, like they're mostly vinegary tasting. But then on the back end they have a heat to them, but it's not like I said, it's not even jalapeno hot. It's just you know, it's more like black pepper hot, kind of like.
Yeah,
you know?
for our Minnesota friends.
Yeah, it's too hot for you guys.
When pepper is it's the hottest spice that you have.
Yes.
No, you know what those would make and I think I have made this before, and I just didn't really think about it because they were the only pickles we had in the house because we always had them. Those sweet hot pickles or sweet hot peppers, like making a relish out of those. This
would make the best tuna fish sandwich.
That would make a delicious, right? Actually, I am pretty sure it does make a delicious relish because I'm pretty sure I've made it before. Because when I've tried to make, or not even relish, a tartar sauce, because I will make it with whatever we have in the
whatever's
fridge.
pickled in the house.
Right, and then I'll just chop it up and stick it in the mayo.
So we don't have any here in front of us, but I want to mention jalapenos, pickled jalapenos for a minute, because I always keep a jar at my house, and those are like my regular pickles. Like when I make a hamburger at home, I just put pickled jalapenos on a hamburger. Like that's my deal. Pickled jalapenos on nachos, pickled jalapeno on hamburger, pickled jalapenos on whatever the hell. Because I just eat them. Like I'm immune to pepper. Like, you know, this is the thing. If you eat a lot of peppers, you build up an immunity to capsaicin.
Right.
And it doesn't really, like after a while, it's just like, whatever.
Right. Our neighbor who lives right over there, right? He is so immune to capsaicin that he can just eat a freaking chili, like a ghost pepper. It's insane. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I can actually eat ghost peppers or scorpion peppers or whatever, and they don't bother my mouth, but my stomach says, oh, hell no. That's a pepper too far for my stomach. I realize I'm actually allergic to scorpions, like if I eat them, immediately, like within 10 minutes, I break out in a sweat, and my body's like, no, man, I don't know what you did that for. I've learned not to eat them. Right? I did it a couple times when they first became a thing. And this is a funny thing. I don't know why people insist on like making hotter peppers. Like they keep like upping the ante.
Right. Like the Scoville scale is no longer useful because we keep making more hot peppers. So like the scale tops out at some point.
Actually, they haven't reached the top of the scale by any means, but they've reached the top of what human beings can taste for sure. Like honest. So I mean, most hot sauces are around 1,000, I want to say, and then I would say jalapenos are about like same range about, and then you've got your habaneros are about like 1,200.
No, I love a habanero.
Habaneros,
like, actually,
that's about as hot as I want to go personally.
Yeah, that's about. Yeah, now little goes a long way.
Yeah, no, ghosts are, I want to say 1,800 on the Scoville scale, and scorpions are like another 300 more, and then you got the Carolina Reaper, which is another 300 more, and I know in like another year or two somebody's gonna come out with something hotter than the Carolina Reaper. And what's the point though? What's the point? What are you trying to accomplish? First off, human beings are the only animal on Earth that even enjoys pepper. You know, like no other animal even touches this shit.
Because they're hot.
Yeah, because the whole point of it was to, I think, be off-putting to predators or something.
Right.
But human beings developed some sort of weird, like,
bring on that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we use capsaicin to numb pain on the body. Mm-hmm. Like you get the capsaicin cream.
Yeah, cream or whatever. Yeah, it's all just pepper mixed in a cream.
It's like using pepper spray on your body. Like I have definitely made foods where I've like the mix or whatever I'm putting in it is like a hot pepper, and then like suddenly I've made pepper spray in my kitchen. Like so I'm like I gotta step away, open all the windows, oh my god.
So that stuff's crazy. I don't know, but anyway, I just want to say, but pickled jalapenos.
Yes.
My God, so good. I can put them on everything. They're great. I love them on pizza too. I like banana peppers on pizza also. Pickled ones, and pickled, both of them pickled. Actually, I do not like regular plain jalapenos.
Yeah,
like raw jalapenos, I do not like.
They're a lot. I will use them I will use them in cooked foods.
Sure.
You know, but I will also remove all the seeds and stems, and then like dice them.
Sure,
and then
but I'm just saying, like, but something about pickling them. Bam, they're so good, right? Okay. So we're going to move on past peppers now.
Yeah, we've got a couple of other things here. So I have here this sad, lonely olive.
She brought one olive out here.
Because I would rather die than eat an olive.
All right. And
but this is a Kalamata.
It is a Kalamata. If she had brought me a green olive, I wouldn't eat it either. And I don't love Kalamatas. I usually only eat them when they're in Greek salad or something like that. I don't like them by themselves, really, but I'll eat it this one time. I will say this
on air for you. It's a sacrifice
for you people. Here's the difference between olives and most other pickles: is olives are just briny tasting, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have a back end other flavor.
Yeah, and I suppose there is a level on which some people wouldn't consider olives pickles, right?
Maybe, but I mean, yeah, because they're not vinegary, but they're briny. They're hella salty. They almost, it's funny. I always think they kind of taste like something's gone bad.
Yeah, that's why I don't like olives.
You know what else? You know what else tastes like that kind of in a way? Those pickled mangoes that you get from the Indian place. You ever had those?
No, I know what they are, but I've never had
green mango pickles. Yeah. They're, oh my god, those things, they have such a fucking weird taste. I'll just eat them and eat them and eat them and eat them because they're so weird. It's like the first time I had them, I was like, these are disgusting, and then I kept eating them. And I was like, I can't put my finger on what's quite so disgusting about these. I just kept eating them, and now I'm kind of like developing a taste for them because they're just like really weird.
Yeah,
they do this kind of, like when you eat like a not quite ripe persimmon and it like dries your mouth out. It's got kind of a little bit of that going on, but at the same time, it's also got this it's got like 7 different flavors going on at once. Mm-hmm. It's like hot and sweet and umami and tangy and all this at one time, and they're just, oh my god, they're so good. I got a jar of those at the house. I should have brought those.
No, yeah, you should have. All right, but speaking of experiments, all right, so Bill has brought this, which is a pickled okra.
Pickled okra, Taka, Texas, or I think is what the brand is.
Is it?
They're the hot ones, the hot
Okay.
okra.
So I have to admit, I'm gonna try one here. I don't like okra.
Okay.
So I've been told to try one.
Mm.
So I'm gonna give it a little taste here. I'm not expecting to like it.
Not liking it?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't know. Put that over there. Oh dear Lord! Why would someone eat that?
They're delicious. I can eat a whole
Oh,
jar.
God.
I can eat a jar of those in a sitting.
Oh God! Oh God!
You don't like them?
No, I do not. I do not like that.
Is it the texture or the spiciness?
It is some of it. No, the spiciness is fine. In fact, I'm gonna eat one of those hot peppers to get that taste out of my mouth.
Okay.
That I will take this last hot pepper here, and I will eat that. No, I think it is partly the texture, that sliminess. Yeah, I do not like that.
They're not as slimy as boiled okra or fried okra, but they're still okra is okra. Like it's gonna have that bit of, but they're so they use those a lot of times. The purple onion uses those in the not the hot ones though. They use pickled okras in their Bloody Mary as like the garnish with all the pickle shit.
Yeah, and that's purely like a southern. Like I don't like Bloody Marys either.
I don't either. No,
but that's a southern thing. Like you would never in the Midwest, you would never get an okra on your Bloody Mary. Like it just wouldn't happen.
And then so that leads me into a thing that we also don't have, but I want to talk about pickled green beans. Are a thing.
Or like
pickled
asparagus. Yes.
Also delicious. How about pickled bean salad?
I mean, okay.
You ever had that?
No, I don't. Maybe
like 15 bean.
Yeah, I think I have. Now that
I don't know. It's always 15, 5 beans, whatever.
Right, 3 bean salad.
Yeah, but it's always
pickled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
So asparagus, because I went camping once and someone brought like an assortment of pickled items and asparagus, and I was like, I'm surprised how much I like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So we've also mentioned some. So we talked about relish, which is obviously just regular ass cucumber pickles.
Yeah, diced up.
Yeah,
as their own thing.
But then there are other like pickled relishes. Yeah. So we have on the list, right, chow chow, which is very popular in the South. Although strangely enough, my mother-in-law loved that. She born and raised in Detroit, but she loved chow chow. Okay. Loved it. She would go nuts for it.
It was one of the few things that was actually at the store today that I didn't buy, but they did have chow chow for sale.
I'm gonna need that pizza soon. Lord, I got a lot of pickle going on here.
And then those the chow chow, and then
so we also wanted to mention like fermented foods,
right?
Like technically are not pickles, but are so like German sauerkraut, right?
Because it's not made with vinegar per se, but it is. I think brine is a component of it. And then it's left to ferment, and that's what gives the sour, like the vinegary sort of taste, is the fermenting. But it's a process, and the idea is that it keeps after it's fermented. But it's got a live culture that also does its own thing. It's kind of like yogurt, like for your guts.
Which is why they're actually fermented foods are really good for you.
Sure. And I love sauerkraut as well, and then.
Kimchi,
likewise,
which is the Korean version.
Korean version, yeah.
Right. So my father spent some time in the army in Korea, not during the Korean War. It was just after the Korean War. And like his story, like he would come back and he would tell us stories about eating kimchi, and like it freaked him out because he's from suburban. Well, not so. He was from inner city Detroit at the time, and he also was like a Depression baby. So he was used to eating Depression and then World War II. He was born in 1935. So he was used to eating things on government cheese, right? So like he would eat, it would always be casseroles or, like that's what he grew up eating. So when he got to Korea and people were trying to give him kimchi and he's like, I don't know. Thank you. No, thank you. So he did not like it, and
he didn't.
No, did not like it. No, not at all.
Huh.
He was a man set in his ways. Even when he lived in Korea for several years, he did not. He had a Korean girlfriend.
Love me some fucking kimchi. I'll tell you. Actually, I made myself barbecue sandwiches and put kimchi because I had no slaw in the house. I put kimchi on my barbecue sandwich.
Sure.
And that is a whole other fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Kicks it up a notch. I'm telling people to try that at home. Because I usually, they sell the kimchi in a jar at most grocery stores.
Yeah.
And I usually buy a jar of it once every couple months, and keep it there.
Well, there are a lot of places around town. There's a lot of like Asian fusion places around town that will do like creative things. So there's Asian restaurants that will do like good kimchi, but there's a bunch of like fusion restaurants that will do creative things. Like there's right down the road from where we're sitting right now is it's actually a yeast factory. I mean, that's one of the things they do. They make yeast that brewers use.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's called White Labs.
Right.
And they also have a restaurant where they have it's really cool because they'll talk about fermented. They'll do the same recipe beer with different yeasts. So you can try like 3 different yeasts on the same recipe and they all taste very different.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of the fermented foods, a lot of things with their yeast. And they have a kimchi fry, so it's like a chili fry, but they put kimchi on top with the other things, and it's surprisingly delicious.
That sounds good.
And their fries, they actually fry. They do something with the fries that make them yeasty, and then fry them. So the fries are really crispy and really good. So yeah, check out White Labs in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I've not been there to eat yet. Emily's been there, and she said it was really good.
Oh God, we got to do that. You got to try that.
No, she's been there once. I think it was like a business dinner or something. She wrote it off. Or
yeah, I mean they do all their own breads because they're yeast kind of like everything is amazing. So you should check it out. Talk about fermented foods. Delicious.
Yeah.
All right. So. I did have questions. Is a pickled egg a pickle?
Sure.
We determined that. Is kimchi a pickle? We determined close enough, right?
I say so. I mean, it's in the same family, sort of.
It is a fermented food.
Yes.
So, yes, I think it fermented as a method of preservation.
Right.
Right. So, like we talked about brine, that brine makes a pickle. But if you brine your Thanksgiving turkey, that's not a pickle. It's just a brined turkey.
Right.
Because then you cook it.
Right, sure, yeah. Brine, pickle has to be, it's a type of curing is what it is. Like, so you could make the argument that a salt cured ham is a pickle.
I would not make that argument, but I eat that salt cured ham.
Certainly if you took a salt cured ham and then put it in a jar of vinegar.
Oh, yes.
It's a pickle.
Yeah, well, so like a Vienna sausage.
A Vienna sausage could be a pickle.
It's a meat pickle.
But there are pickled sausages, those Penrose. Have you ever seen those jars of that red sausage? They're over in the, on the shelf. Those are. I used to love it when I was. I haven't had one in years, but God, when I was like 13, I used to love the shit out of those. I would just eat a whole jar of them and sit. Yeah.
Nice.
I can't imagine now. Now they seem kind of disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm curious. Like, would I still like them? Maybe I would. I don't know.
So many years ago, we went camping. Actually, right after we bought the land up here in Asheville, or near Asheville, we brought a bunch of friends camping. And we have a really good friend who now lives in Seattle. He lived in Atlanta, but he's Canadian. He's from New Brunswick. Like, he's super Canadian. And he brought with him to camping Vienna sausages. He was so excited. He's like, this is great. So, like, a can of Vienna sausages. And our friend Dan from Michigan was down. He had never had a Vienna sausage in his life.
Oh, really?
So
it's not a thing people in the Midwest eat a lot of?
I didn't. And I'm sure you can, but I'm sure they exist.
They sell them at the grocery store.
I guarantee they do, which is apparently we don't eat them.
You don't eat them like Southerners eat them.
Right.
Okay.
But Droid, who apparently discovered them when he moved to Georgia, Droid, his name is not legally Droid, but Droid is our Canadian friend who now lives in Seattle. But he brought these pickles, and we're sitting around the campfire, and brought these Vienna sausages, and we're sitting around the campfire, and he opens the can, and he, like, passes them around. And Dan reached into it and grabbed him, and he's like, why is it like a wet finger? I don't understand why it's like a wet finger. And he was appalled. He was just so grossed out by it. But, yeah, I think you can make the case that is a meat pickle.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, it's definitely full of nitrates, which keep it
right.
Like, I will say this. Okay, after the zombies come, so we have this argument all the time at my house because I love foods with nitrates. Like, I'll eat all the nitrated meats. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you're a big fan of Hormel.
Yeah, anything Hormel makes, I'll eat it.
Shout out to Minnesota.
Yeah, And my wife is always like, ew. And I'm like, well, we'll see who's still alive a year after the zombies come, because this is going to be all the meat that's left in the damn store is the salted canned meats. And I'll still be eating them and be like, I'm getting my protein. And she's going to be like living off, I don't know. She's eating like raisins. So I don't really have to eat. I don't know, like banana chips or something is all she'll have.
That's fair. Although I will say my zombie apocalypse plan, which, mind you, the apocalypse that we just survived and are still in the middle of, by the way, it wasn't the apocalypse we planned for.
No.
Just say that. But my zombie apocalypse plan is to go to the nearest brewery, hole myself up in there, drink until I'm drunk or dead, and just let whatever happens happen.
That's fair.
Like either I die from alcohol consumption and
that's the best case scenario,
right? Or the zombies eat me, and at that point I'm drunk and I don't
care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I follow you.
So that's my goal. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's fair. You know,
for it to happen.
Yeah. We didn't touch on this yet, and I wanted to touch on it before the end of the show because sometimes we get at the end of the show, and then sometimes the next day I'll tell her, "Oh, we never talked about that thing."
Oh, yeah, is this the thing?
Yeah, giardiniera. I want to talk about it for just a moment, which is like a pickle salad.
Yeah, you got your cauliflower.
Yeah, carrots.
Got your carrots.
Some celery.
Yeah.
And then like some kind of hot peppers are in there usually too. And the reason I bring it up is because, when I lived in Chicago, that was the condiment that you have on the Italian beef sub.
Yes.
Oh my God, like that really sets that whole thing off. Like you got to have that spicy giardiniera. I don't think I've ever had it outside of that sandwich, but I almost bought a jar of it to bring over here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Out of morbid curiosity, because I did see some.
Nice.
But I didn't know if I'd want it without an Italian beef sandwich. So, I decided, I'll pass.
That's fair. All right. So, no, that is a good one. That's another one that my mother-in-law loved was giardiniera. She liked chow chow. She would eat either.
Yeah.
But she liked them both, for sure.
They're both good.
They are both good. All right. So I have us the end of the show, right? We actually have a mailbag question.
Okay.
And this actually is a nuanced question, although the asker did not mean it to be. But Jay from Detroit asks, do pickles belong on pizza?
I have been reading a lot about, I guess there's like a cheeseburger pizza that everybody's been floating.
Yes, that's where I was going to go with this.
Okay, and I am very curious. It sounds kind of delicious, I have to say. Like, I'm totally down to try it at least. I will eat it once.
Yes.
And we'll see where we go.
Yeah. So to that end, unfortunately, the restaurant is closed on Mondays, but right up the road is Asheville Brewing Company, Asheville Pizza and Brewing. And they have a cheeseburger pizza.
Do they?
I had it, and it's delicious.
Does it have pickles on it?
It does.
Is it good?
I like it. It's
All
got pickles, lettuce, tomato. Although I don't like tomato, but you can either pick it off or ask for it not to be there.
Same.
And then the beef, and the cheese. So it's like a classic, and then the sesame crust.
Okay, I feel like I'd love it.
Yeah.
I really like taco pizzas, which are kind of very similar, except for they don't have pickles. But I can see, since I love taco pizza, that I think I would like cheeseburger pizza also, because I do like pickles, and I'm like, why wouldn't I like that? It sounds delicious to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, but the reason it's a nuanced question, right, is do pickles belong on pizza? Because you've already established you like things on pizza that we determined were pickles, like banana peppers and jalapenos.
Yeah, and olives.
And olives. So those go on pizzas, and they are pickles.
They are.
That's
why I guess it's not a far cry different for me, because the jalapenos are definitely very similar to a dill chip, except for the fact they're slightly spicier.
Right.
They're just a spicy dill chip. That's the way I see them. So.
Yes. And I believe the Asheville Brewing, which we should do one time, unfortunately we can't do it on Monday night, so we'll have to just do it some other time. But I believe their cheeseburger pizza, I believe it's like bread and butter pickles, like what you would normally put on a cheeseburger.
Dill pickles. You put dill pickles on cheeseburger.
I've always put bread and butter pickles.
You're out of your damn mind.
Well, I don't put any pickles on a cheeseburger, my choice. But that's what I grew up with.
People
was
put
bread and
dill
butter.
chips on a cheeseburger.
Bread and butter pickles is what I grew up with. I don't like either of them, frankly.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
That's weird, but I'll eat either one. I don't care.
All right. And it might be dill because I don't know the difference.
Okay.
I don't know the difference. All right. So, but we do have a very important, a very timely things that are extra today.
I do, yes. Sorry. I have to bring.
Sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Not sorry.
I have to bring this up because yesterday. Was it yesterday? What's today?
No, yeah.
Was it Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Saturday. Sorry, I got inundated a bit with you know, I don't know what you call it. It wasn't really exactly well wishes. It wasn't like happy 9/11. It wasn't like that bad, but it was like, hey, we remember 9/11. And it was from a lot of like corporate sites were like telling me we remember 9/11. And I was like, yeah, but you don't need to tell me that you remember it. Like, I felt like it was kind of a little grotesque to even mention it. Like they weren't going so far as to have like a happy 9/11, we're having a sale kind of thing.
Right, but we're a few steps away from that.
Sure, I give it 5 to 10 years, and we're doing that, you know. So that's that. I guess I felt like it was a little crass and a little in poor taste. I feel like as a corporation, you'd be better off just not fucking mentioning it, you know, like just let it lie. Like we all know what happened. You don't need to say anything about it. It's not endearing you in any way.
Yeah, let that be the government. Let that be citizens.
Sure.
Let that be the city of New York, or
right.
You know, let that.
And even there, I want to say, like, I feel like within the next 10 years, the government will probably make it a fucking federal holiday. We'll all be off on 9/11 every year, and another 5 years after that, we'll all be having cookouts on 9/11, and it'll just be a bullshit holiday like Memorial Day or.
Well, because people forget, right?
Yeah, because there
are kids that didn't experience it. I mean,
sure,
I know I was an adult human being when it happened. Like I was working a job.
Yeah, but it was 20 years ago, so that means there are adults now who grew up. Like, and the only thing that 9/11 means to them. And honestly, it doesn't even mean anything to them because they grew up never knowing the difference. They didn't know that you could get to the airport 15 minutes before your flight,
right,
and run into the damn gate,
right.
Like, they don't even remember that being a thing,
right.
But if like I said, that's the only real difference it's had to them is that they grew up in the shadow of it, and it's affected their life in the manner that there's things they can't do.
Right.
I mean, honest to God, like so when I was a kid, people used to do shit like. You could put a pipe bomb at the school and blow the mailbox up at the school or something, you know, and they would go, "Oh, those damn kids,
boys being boys."
Yes, if you put a pipe bomb anywhere nowadays,
yeah, well,
that's terrorism.
I mean, to be fair,
it was
probably a better situation.
No, I get you. It was always terrorism. It's just a difference in the way we approach it now. Because it used to be boys being boys, and now it's fucking terrorism, and it's just a different. But I'm saying the kids who are 20 don't remember. There was a time when you could pipe bomb the school and they would just shake their head.
Right.
And go, well, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do, boys?
So, but, you know, so that being said, I mean, I guess it's, what is it they say? Like tragedy plus time equals comedy, I suppose.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, we're not at the comedy stage yet. And frankly, I kind of hope we don't get that stage with this particular tragedy. Because it was something that was so ingrained. But then, you know, like the Vietnam War was such a big thing. And now we have, you know, there are movies made about that now that are a little more comedy. You know, the Korean War, right? MASH was a comedy series.
Yeah,
so
it was still deep.
Yeah,
I mean, the theme song to MASH was Suicide is Painless.
That is true.
So it was kind of still trying to be a little dark.
That is true.
I will be, you know.
That is fair. That is fair. All right. So we have come to a close on this show.
Yeah.
We will be back in another week for a very special episode about football because it is fall.
Yeah, football.
Yeah.
All right.
It's what you do. All right. Will you take us away?
I will. Bill has opinions. Is he here produce Bill or Lavoy? The opinions of Bill are those of his and his alone, unless Laura shook her head in agreement, and vice versa. They're definitely not the opinions of our so-called sponsors who didn't pay us a damn dime to be mentioned on our show. But if you would like to pay us a damn dime to be mentioned on our show, feel free to reach out. Also, if you want to comment about our show, be sure to hashtag Opinion Gang and be sure to like and subscribe on Facebook and follow us on, like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook
or something.
or do all the things, and then catch us next week, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be back at you with a show about football, and in the meantime, enjoy your week.
All right, bye everybody. Have a good one.
See you later.
Enjoy some pickles.